hello. All right, as usual, y'all are catching me in the middle of a text. So just give me 1 second. I pray everyone's week has gone very well. We have a lot of updates. If you're coming into the room, do me a favor and make sure that you give it a thumbs up because we know that it goes out a little further. All right. So if you'll do that for me, I sure would appreciate it. Yes, we have a lot of updates. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on this week for sure. And we're going to catch you all up to speed. So as you're coming into the room, hello, 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 hello. And don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up because it will go out a little further. Go ahead and let's see who's in the room. Give us a hello. How art thou? What's going on? Okay, let's see. Okay, first of all, we got a new member in the house. Okay, hello, Dr. Deborah. Okay, let me bring that back again. It went away. I think that Dr. Deborah is in the house. She is our new YouTube member. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Do know that we meet every month where we do one-on-ones and you get a chance to ask all the questions you need, get all the direction that you need. And if you haven't already, come on and join the school as well because there it's like information overload. Okay, you are in the know about almost everything in split seconds. Okay, but welcome to our YouTube community. Hi, Antoinette. I know we need to touch base. I just remembered. Let me make myself a note. We need to touch base. Okay, and I'm going to see if I can reach out to you today if you are available. So just let me know if you're available today, and they have your number, so I can just get that from the team. But you and I need to talk today, and thank you again for your gifts that you continue to give. Thank you so much. Hey, Harrison, what's up? How art thou? Hi, Kelly, Grand Rising. Kelly is also a YouTube member, and let me go back up because Antoinette is also a YouTube member, and y'all know we meet and we go deep, deep, deep. Okay. All right. Hello, John Delyn. How are you? Yes, Friday. Hello, Gerald. Shalom to you. Hi, Jamie. Is that a new name? I think that's a new name. Well, welcome. But if it's not a new name, hello again. Welcome to the YouTube. Those that are coming in, today works good. Okay. All right. We will make it happen today. Hi, Timo on Missouri, St. Louis. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. Once again, those that are coming into the room, you guys, I want you to give a thumbs up to the live. But if you have not subscribed to the channel, I want you to go and subscribe to the channel. And if you look right above, there's a little bell, right? If you click that bell every time I go live, because y'all know I go live on different things, right? I go live on Case Watch. I go live on My Birth Chart Blueprint. I go live on Private Life Show. Okay, so I go live several times, but every time I go live with some great information, by the way, if you hit that bell, you'll get the notifications, okay? All right, and you're right. Please like and share, okay? Please like and share. So first and foremost, if you're new to this channel and you are not in our school, you guys, you got to join the school, okay? All the information is below. I cannot stress enough the importance of joining a school. I am telling you right now, if you are really trying to move not just yourself, but your family into another space, and y'all know we're moving timelines now, right? We are moving timelines. Can you understand how that works when you move timelines? Let me explain to you what they do when you shift timelines. I don't care where you go in the world. Hear what I'm telling you now. In the world, y'all, they did this on a world scale. Every historical building you go into, every historical fact that you listen to, every historical anything that you see always is going to begin at the 16 or 1700 timeline. No joke. Everything that you read, everything that you see, every place that you go to tour, they're going to have this dialogue with things beginning at the 1600s, and this occurred in the 1700s, and then this brought forth in the 1800s. Now and then you might hear 1500s, but for the most part, it's the 16, 17, or 1800s. Now, give a thumbs up in the chat if you know this to be true from the different places that you've visited, or the history lessons that you have embarked on yourself, that you know history began with the 16, 17, or 1800s in everything. They created that timeline for us. So y'all have to know how that works. They created that timeline for us, right? And so when you begin to understand how powerful this knowledge is, and knowing how to maneuver through the maze that was created for us, it puts you in a powerful space. So what we've done is we are teaching you how to maneuver the timeline, right? And also not only how to maneuver it, but how to kind of manifest what you want to manifest in that timeline, right? We know a way that you can go in and kind of reprogram yourself to kind of trump what they have created for you. New beginnings are coming, or matter of fact, here. 3 meteors seen in my hometown, Cleveland. 400 years are over. Okay, come with the knowledge. All right. So what they're doing right now, they are moving us to another timeline, and I'm going to give you information on that in just a second. And if you're here to get an update on the bank, we have some updates on the bank. Okay, a lot is popping off. But this is a good day to be here, you guys. This is a great day to be here. And if you're watching it from playback, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Just remember, as you come into the room, give a thumbs up, you guys, because it helps us. It helps us. It helps us. Okay. Not just in the live, not just in the comments. I need you to go to the live, look at the bottom. You're going to see thumbs up, thumbs down. Don't you do the thumbs down. Okay. We don't want to do the thumbs down because y'all know I be working hard for these little moments here. But please give a thumbs up, and it's going to help push it out. All right. Let me say thank you to those who continue to give, you guys. Listen, don't ask for much. Some give, small amounts. Some give, larger amounts, or whatever you can give. I want to say thank you for doing it. Okay. I don't take that part lightly. You don't have to give. And you continue to give, and I thank you. So Annalisa, thank you so much. Antoinette is like popping it in every week, and I just thank you so much. Don, you're new to the giving part, and I thank you. And Mike, I saw your repeat. Thank you, you guys. Thank you. And I do want to continue to shout you out, because we're going to take time to shout you out, because it's about giving and taking. And so when you plant those seeds, I promise you, they come back to you, and you already know it has been proven. We are good soil over here. So I thank you. All right. Now, if you have not followed me on all social media platforms, I am Dr. Sherry everywhere. Now and then I will put certain information out there. You're going to start to see a whole revamping of my social media platform real soon. So you want to follow me everywhere. I'm telling you guys, you're about to see an entire revamping of my social media platform real soon. Oh, thank you for stating it's good soil, because I really do try on this side. Now, update. I received my copper. Okay, so I told you guys really years ago, we told you to go ahead and get that precious metal, that gold, that silver. And now we've kind of moved you guys to getting your copper. And I got my beautiful copper, you guys. It is beautiful. It is stowed away. You never should leave it where you lay your head. Okay, so it is stowed away safely But when it came in, it was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I got a big one, and then I got a little smaller one, but I got a big 5-ounce, and then I got a smaller one, and it finally came because remember they kept delaying. So I finally did get my copper, and I think I'm going to go back again. Hi, Almighty CJ Flash in the house. Hello, hello, hello. All right, so as far as the purchase of the precious metals, you guys, I told y'all Harrison is like an expert in this area, and he has told us whether the systems, the precious metal system, is volatile or not. Okay, it doesn't matter. He said buy because it definitely over a period of time is going to go up, and we know we've seen that. We've seen it, right? Some of y'all came in when gold was 1,800 an ounce, and now we know it's way surpassing. It has surpassed $5,000 an ounce, and it's going back and forth. All right, but he instructed us to it's okay. So don't freak out, because we were freaking out. We're freaking Harrison kind of brought us back down again. He was like, it's okay. Just continue to buy. And Harrison has connections too with getting gold and silver. So Harrison, I don't know if you want to, well, if you contact us, we'll be able to attach you to Harrison. Let's do that. Okay. Because we don't want to put all his information out on the YouTube streets. So, but if you want information, if you contact us, we can connect you to Harrison. All right, let's do it like that. Buy and hold at least 5 years. All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Harrison. All right. What are some things that happened this week? And I'm going to give you an update about the bank. And I'm looking over here just to make sure I'm not missing anything that I need to tell you guys. Okay. So, we kind of break this down every week into 3 areas, right? And I have told y'all week after week after week, you need to master all areas to be able to really live this life that is pleasing to you, pleasing to your family, right? Pleasing to the Most High, to really live a high vibrational life. I believe this wholeheartedly. But in order to do that, you need to study to show thyself approved, right? And you need to study the areas of spiritual, not religion, the spiritual component. You need to be able to study the de jure component, which means living privately, living status corrected. Many still don't know how to do that. Many don't know what it's about, but you need to learn because it's not going away anytime soon. And then you also need to learn how to live in the de facto. We equate the de facto to those who consider themselves United States citizen. That's de facto. That's being owned by the United States corporation, okay? Or some says the United States government. If you're a United States citizen, you have to follow the beat of the drum of the United States corporation, the United States of America, Inc. All right? And so what we try to do is empower you to be able to get the most out of these situations. All right. So let's begin with some things that happened this week. So I'm going to kind of jump between the 3 today, because what I have found this week is everything is layering on top of each other. They're layering on top of each other now. So the first thing that was very impactful this week, the United Nations voted to make slavery the most gravest crime against humanity. I'm sorry, about to sneeze. It's that time. Season. Spring is coming. Everybody around my household, my children, everybody is sneezing all over the place right now. So if I keep sneezing, it's just that we're in the midst of spring is coming. The trees are saying we are back. Isn't that a beautiful thing? The true beginning of the new year. All right. Okay, so going back, the United Nations voted this week that they have now made slavery the most gravest crime against humanity. Now, let me tell you, before I tell you how these countries voted, okay, this is where you have to have a true understanding of who the United Nations is, right? And how this is corporate. This is de facto. This is all de facto, you guys. And it's what people don't understand. So what do I mean when I say de facto for those that might be watching this for the first time? Let's just take the state of Alabama. There's not one Alabama. There's two Alabamas. There's the state Alabama, and then there's the state of Alabama. What does that mean? So if I'm actually in my car and I cross the Alabama border, right? And it says, "Welcome to Alabama." And I park my car and I get out and I walk on the land and I look at the beautiful landscape of Alabama. That is the true land and soil Alabama. That represents America. That represents America. Now, say for instance that you are a U.S. citizen and you are a resident in Birmingham, Alabama, and you're paying your taxes and the school taxes and the state taxes, and you're making sure all of your stuff is in order, and you have LLCs and you pay the business tax. You are in the state of state, which is all corporate. It has nothing to do with the land of America. So when you status correct, you move yourself out of that state of state, which deals with all commercial, corporate. It's a corporate entity with the taxes and all of that, LLCs, all of that, asking permission with the driver's license, all of that. If you register your car, all of that is in a state of state, which is all corporate. It has nothing to do with the land. So what we have done, many of us now, we have status corrected. So we moved ourselves out of that corporation as a U.S. citizen, and then we moved ourselves over to the de jure, where we went back to where we were when we were born into this world as a natural man or a natural woman, right? Which actually has leadership and authority on the land, that doesn't pay taxes and doesn't get involved with having to register. We don't have to ask permission for anything because we run it all. So you have to understand who you are. So the United Nations was put in effect so all of these corporate entities could come together and do different types of votes or what have you. But it's like an organization that tries to regulate the corporate space on a global level. Now, does that help? Give a thumbs up in the chat if you understand what I am saying when I'm explaining who the United Nations is and who they are not. They are not an organization that represents the living man or the living woman. They represent the corporations on a global level. Okay. So first, we have to understand that. Okay. So I'm waiting. I know it's a little delay. So just put a thumbs up in the chat if you understand who the United Nations is. Okay. Because that's important. So what happened this week? They all came together and they voted. So it's actually 179 corporate entities around the world globally. All right. It's 179 of them that's coming to the table to have these votes and these decisions that they decide upon on a global level. So this week, they all came together and they voted whether to actually consider slavery as the gravest crime against humanity. They came together. There you go. Alabama versus state of Alabama. That's it. Okay. And so when they came together, this was the vote. Y'all ready? 123 were in favor of making slavery the gravest crime against humanity. 52 decided to abstain, which means they didn't vote at all. They didn't vote yes, they didn't vote no. They said, you know what, we're just going to stay out of it. To me, that's a vote right there when you decide not to vote. To me. Hi, Sharon, how are you? Okay, so that's my opinion. That's my opinion on that. That's my opinion that if you decided not to vote, that is a vote. All right. So once again, The United Nations came together and they were voting to make slavery the gravest crime against humanity. 123 were in favor, 52 abstained, and we had 3 no's. Let me just pause right there and let y'all just let that sink in. There were 3 no's. Who do you think the 3 no's were who said we will not vote that slavery is the most gravest crime against humanity? We vote no. That is not so. We do not agree. What are the 3 countries do you think actually had the gall to make that decision? Okay, we got some coming in. Harrison says USA. Who else, you guys? Who else? It was 3 of them that said no. Let me see if anybody else want to take a shot at this. Harrison came up with the USA. Anybody else? Who else do you think said no? We're not voting that this happened. Almighty CJ Flash said Russia. Israel. And y'all know last week I did a whole little series on Israel. So if you haven't watched last week, if you haven't watched all of them, you need to go and check out all 77. So if you're new to this, you need to start at number 1 so you can understand how all of this came about. Okay? So if you haven't, you need to go back, but especially last week because I broke down Israel. All right, let me give it to you. Here it is. I'll give it to you. I'm typing it now. Let me make sure. You already know I'll be having a problem with this little typing because I'm always leaving out something. Okay, let me make sure I spelled everything right. Yeah. Okay, here are the 3 that said no. Ooh. Now, what did I tell y'all about Israel last week? Do y'all see how we are in alignment? Y'all got to see this. Y'all have to see this now. How we are always in alignment, because I broke down to you all last week who owns Israel, what all of the BS is really about. I told you all this last week, and these are the 3 right here. Do you see? I'm telling you. So is it a shock that the USA and Israel? Well, of course, both of y'all gonna stick together. You the same entity. And I don't know what's going on with Argentina. Okay, they better get their act together. But it shows you guys, that's what I'm trying to tell you. So then this takes me to my next space that we need to discuss. And I'm going to talk about the bank. I'm going to tie the bank into the debt, what's going on with the U.S. right now, what happened with the United States as far as their corporation is concerned. But let me move to what is happening right now with the travel and all of that, right? I actually flew out of Atlanta last week. And generally, if I'm flying out of Atlanta, I can kind of whip through the lines in like 10, 15 minutes because I have pre-check with TSA. Last week, it took me 2 to 2.5 hours, more so 2.5 hours to get through the lines through security. I got to the airport at 5:30 a.m. in the morning. I didn't get through the line until closer to like 7:45. No, I actually got to the airport about 5:20. And it took us about 10 minutes to kind of figure. When we got in the line for security, it was 5:30 when we got actually in the line. But it took us about 10, 15 minutes to find out where the heck is the back of the line and what they were doing. So I finally got through security about 7:45. My flight boarding started at 8 o'clock. All right. So let me explain this to you. Anytime travel is messed up, they're up to something. Now let's just think for a minute. Just think, because I consider myself a woman of a lot of common sense. And sometimes common sense just gets us to where we really need to be. Okay. And not even, you don't even have to have book sense, just common sense. When I go through the lines, and I'm just going to use Atlanta Airport because I frequent Atlanta a lot. I frequent Philadelphia Airport a lot, and I frequent LAX a lot. Those are the three I'm in and out of constantly. When I go through TSA pre-check, you guys, there's no more than 7 to 10 agents up there. No more than 7 to 10, depending on what airport I'm in. If I'm in Atlanta, the largest airport in the world, is more like 10. Okay, the smaller ones more like 7, 5 to probably even Philly, probably 5. You mean to tell me y'all can't find money anywhere to handle these TSA agents at the max? Let's just take all of the airports in the United States. It will probably be no more than 200 to 300 on at a time. Let's give it 500 TSA agents to cover all of the airports every hour. Y'all can't find money anywhere, like nowhere, to pay these people. So all of a sudden, we got to target them to have no pay. And we do it during spring break week. We do it the first 2 weeks when everybody's traveling for a spring break. Y'all couldn't do it any other time. But we picked this time to make the airways chaotic. One of the busiest travel weeks in the whole year. The 2 weeks in March that are spring break weeks. Y'all decide to make it chaotic because we can't find money in it. Do y'all see what kind of sense this makes? Y'all can print off money for everything else you want, but you can't print off money to pay these people. It is stupid. When you start thinking through this stuff for yourself, you realize how we have fallen victim to stupidity. It is stupidity at this point because they are doing anything they want to do. Anything they want to do, they're doing it to bring forth chaos. That's what it's about. It's not even about can these people get, hell yeah, they can get paid. Print off enough money and pay them. Y'all can move money around any kind of way you want. When the Super Bowl comes in, we can have money for everything. All the parties, everything. All the celebrities can get the money. When it's time for the Grammys, everybody's fine. Okay, money's coming from everywhere. It's stupid. And when you begin to wake up to this foolishness, when you become awakened to their tricks and their deception, it doesn't work anymore. Yes, it's an inconvenience, but the tricks don't work anymore because now we're hip to it. Why is this important? You guys, there is something called the Schumann resonance system. Let me put this in here so y'all can look it up for yourself because, I am a believer in you being educated. So you'll know how, again, to begin to move because you are setting your family free. Because once you learn this stuff, you guys, you set your family free financially. You do understand that, right? You do understand your family begins to not want for anything because you learn how to move in these systems. You learn how to move in the de jure system to get everything you want, and you learn how to move in the de facto system. And listen, and this is the thing, and those that are in the school, I have receipts. Okay, we know how to operate with our trust, okay, to shut down the corporations and have done it continuously. We have learned how to pull deceptive judges into federal court and hold them accountable for the things that they have done, for the unjust. When I say unjust, the unjust rulings that these corporate entities, we have learned how to hold them accountable. And while I'm saying that, Anelia Sutton, I wish I had her link. Dog bite it. Let me see. Let me pull her name. Make sure I'm spelling it right. Because she actually has a $1 trillion lawsuit right now for those who have been penalized in family court. And I've been following Anelia for a very, very, very long time. Very long time. So I want you to go to, here's her handle. And I couldn't remember if it was 1 and 2 ends. And Anelia is one too, where she was in a situation with her daughter. Her daughter was convicted of a crime, and she had to do some time. But her daughter was sick from medications that was given to her, which caused her to mentally react in a way that she would not have normally reacted. And so she became her own attorney, her own lawyer for her daughter, and she won. And she won. But going through that experience is the same thing with me, the same thing I had to experience for 8 years. Okay. And y'all, real soon, something is about to drop. Okay. For those that's in the school, but it is about to pop off because I am now about to move in a position of educating the masses. But we'll talk about that. But I want y'all to go and I want y'all to sign up for her. She has a class action lawsuit. So if you or you know anyone who has fallen victim to the family court system, family law, divorce, child custody, any of that, go and join her class action lawsuit. Okay? Because she's looking to have 5,000 people. And I think she was at 4,600 last week sometime. We want to push her over the edge. All right. So make sure you go and support Anelia. Yes. And her books are fantastic. They actually are. They are, because they kind of help guide you in the right direction. And I actually utilized her for myself when I was going through my court battles early on. All right. The law of resolution. There's her. So this is her handle, you guys. So share. All right. So that's one thing I need to. So let me swing back now. Where was I? Okay, so we're talking about the Schumann resonance. Let me go back up here. We're talking about the Schumann resonance, and what that is, resonance, that is an actual, it's a for real system, you guys. And with the Schumann resonance, what it does is it tracks our vibration for the earth. Hear what I am telling you. It tracks our vibration. Even here on YouTube, if my vibration, if my channel gets too high in vibration, if I keep making y'all go higher and higher and higher in vibration, it will cause my channel not to be able to go out further and further. That's why I'm begging y'all week after week after week to give a thumbs up. That's why I'm literally begging you, because the Schumann resonance is even on our channels. Because if the vibration goes higher and higher, like I'm talking about this now, somebody just fell away, because they could make even people start falling away because they can interrupt the energy flow that's happening, and it'll make you drop. So like that person is probably right back because it just went up again. Okay. But when you give a thumbs up, it forces it out more. It forces it out more. And this is why I'm saying, when you come into the room, immediately go and give a thumbs up. And when you subscribe and you hit that bell, it makes it go crazy. Because when your vibration is high, what do you think that does for the entire nation, for America, the land, the for real land and soil? We vibrate high, which helps the earth, which helps everything, which helps nature, right? And it also does something to these corporations because it causes them to unravel. It causes them to fall. And that's where we are right now. The Schumann resonance system actually went chaotic this past week. It went chaotic because our vibration was fighting against what they were doing, disrupting travel, right? But we were still vibrating high because many of us would, like me, even though I was in the airport and I was standing in that line, I was vibrating high because my power it goes with me. Right. So I'm frustrated as all hell. But at the same time, I know what y'all are doing. And you can't disrupt that because I understand at another level that is bullshit that we're in right now. Okay. So let's be very, very clear that we have an understanding that you did this. They nowhere in this heavenly earth you're going to ever get me to believe that y'all could not pay no more than 500 TSA agents around the America system. Okay. And it ain't no way you could figure that out. And you just happen to do it during the first 2 weeks of spring break. Give me a damn break. Okay. Give me a break, because it's all bull. And what it is that we're figuring it out. We are figuring it out. We have an understanding, and we're doing it not just on a national level with America. We are resonating high and breaking through at every level globally. Okay. So this week, the Schumann resonance system went a little chaotic, Okay, the machine that they use to keep us to know what our vibration, they couldn't keep up with it. They could not keep up with it. We broke the machine because our energy is so high. So this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. When you start learning and learning and learning and implementing it within your life and within the lives of your family, you got to understand how powerful this is. When you start waking up those around you. And if they're not listening, everybody ain't meant to wake up. So the hell with them. If they don't want to listen to what you have to say, move on. Move on to the next person and move on to the next person. TSA kept randomly selecting me this week and asking for my phone, frustrating me every time because they was feeling, girl, you was throwing off that energy in that system. That's what was going on. They never asked me for my phone. I just let my phone go through the little conveyor belt. I don't care. I don't care. But some people choose not to take the picture. They choose not to do any of it. And it's your choice. You don't have to participate at all. All right. So I wanted to talk about the Schumann resonance system going down and how that related to all of a sudden not being able to. Let me tell you why they want to disrupt travel. Let's talk about that. Why they want to disrupt travel. Because when you can move, please say leave them alone again. Say leave them alone. Hey, Miss Deborah, how are you? When you disrupt travel, you disrupt movement, right? And when people can move around freely, we can begin to align with each other. Right. So they wanted, so when people were coming together for spring break, families were coming together, people were happy. They wanted to disrupt that. Y'all got to get this. They wanted to disrupt that happiness. They wanted to disrupt that freedom. Right. And when they disrupt it, you guys, it makes our energy, our vibration come down, because now what you were looking forward to, Halakia, when you were looking forward to that cruise or looking forward to going to the beach or looking forward to going to travel to another country, you were looking for, they caused people to miss flights and miss 2 flights and 3 flights. And I can't now it's supposed to connect to get here. And now I missed the event that was supposed to happen tomorrow because now I can't get here. Do you see? It brings the vibration back down. We were already vibrating high. And it was like, oh no, now we cannot have these people come together. They're vibrating high. They're going to start talking to one another. And it's going to go through the roof with the vibration as far as the earth is concerned. Okay. So everything has a purpose for them. Everything, they do everything calculating every step. And it's for you to understand it so you're not affected by it. All right. All right. So I hope I kind of explained that. So now let's go to something else that popped off this week. This was a very active week. Very, very active week. This week they talked about, they more so talked about the insolvency of the United States. Now, if you're in a school, I got y'all hip to this about 2 or 3 weeks ago. All right. I told y'all 2 or 3 weeks ago to start honing in on the insolvency of the United States. And being insolvent, it means simply that you can't pay your debts. You do not have enough funds coming in to cover your liabilities. So now the U.S. has been declared the United States of America, Inc. And do understand, this is where some of these articles are messing up. And this is why when you vibrate high and you have a thorough understanding of what the heck is going on, you know. They are trying to say that America is insolvent or America can't pay its debts. No, ma'am. No, sir. No. The United States of America, Inc., that has the president called President Trump, because I don't want my thing to start messing up. They can't pay their debts. Okay. And look at it like this, you guys. When you have an understanding, all corporations, they have to have a president, right? They have a vice president. They have somebody to handle the money, the secretary. All of these offices, that's why they have to have it. Okay. And then also do understand in corporations that the people don't vote on who the president's going to be. That's why they have something called an electoral college that you will never see. You'll never know who these people are. One time I did get the list of the electoral college. One time I was able to get the list, okay? Don't ask me where the list is now, but like in 2000, I think 11, 12, I was able to get the list of the Electoral College that actually voted for their president. But let's bring it back home. So this corporate entity can't pay its debts, and it has filed bankruptcy. It's in bankruptcy. It's been in bankruptcy. This is why Elon Musk came through and started, rearranging different departments and shutting this department down and joining this department with this, because that's what you have to do in bankruptcy, right? You have to balance your debts. You got to find money. So that's what Elon Musk was doing. Everybody, when you understand this stuff, who gives a god darn which president they vote for? Because even you as a United States citizen, you do know you don't vote, right? You do know your vote does not count. It goes in a category called the popular vote. And I told y'all this before, okay? So if you think you going down here putting signs in your yard and I'm voting for the Democrat, I'm voting for Republican, you're at each other's necks. They are sitting back laughing at you. They are laughing at you. They're saying, look how we got these people riled up and they don't even vote. We listen, our higher ups vote on who's going to lead this foolishness. All right, so the United States of America, Inc. is in $47.78 trillion in debt. They are in close to $50 trillion in debt. Who do you think is going to have to pay that? Let me see if y'all get this right. Who do you think has to pay the United States of America, Inc. close to $50 trillion debt? Who is going to have to pay it? It's funny, the LA Metro app for the subway and train has been down for going on 2 weeks, and people aren't able to add money to their tap card unless you're at a kiosk. Call center is down as well. It's purposeful. It's purposeful. All right, almighty CJ Flash, he says the taxpayer. Now do me a favor. You're right. But what do we call the taxpayers? What is their name? Because for those that are watching for the first time and they may not be hip to this, they need to understand what they're called. Oh, it ain't what we call. It's what they call. And this is why you don't want to be called that. Let me see if he'll come back and put it. The people, not me, no more income tax. Yeah, but what are they called, Kelly? Give me the name of what these people are called. There you go. The United States citizens. Now you'll understand, you guys, where you are being a cheerleader for voting for the Democrat demons or the Republican fools, okay? The Republican fool, because we live, our for real America is a republic, which is totally different. And this is where they do these little word plays on us. This is where they get us all mixed up with the words. And that's why you need to understand what each word means. That's why I don't say blessed anymore, because it means be less. And now it's finally starting to stick to me, starting to stick in my soul, where I don't gravitate to bless anymore, because I know I'm telling somebody, be less. That's why they say, bless you when you sneeze. What they're telling you is be less than you are. Okay. This is what this is the curse that they're putting upon us. And they taught us to do it. Yep. So United States citizens. Yes. United States, U.S. citizens. That's who's going to have to pay this $50 trillion in debt. So if you don't know how to not pay those taxes, if you don't know the steps that you need to do, you better get status corrected. You better learn. And that's why we have the school. That's why we have the school to teach you. Or it's a lot of information out there right now where you can learn on your own. But for those that want to kind of fast track through this, that's why I created the school. All right. That's why I created the school. So now let's talk about the bank. Let's talk about the bank. First of all and foremost, if you have come in, give us a thumbs up, because it helps push this out a little further. So give a thumbs up, you guys, to the live. If you have not subscribed, go over to where it says subscribe, hit that little bell at the top, and every time I go live, you will be notified. All right, you will be notified. So give a thumbs up to the live. There's a little thumbs up button right below. Just hit that button and go over to the subscribe button and hit that bell so you'll get notified every time I go live. And don't forget to follow me on all social media at I am Dr. Sherry. All right, y'all ready for the Global Bank? I know you're ready for the Global Bank. Y'all stay ready for the Global Bank. All right, there was a lot of movement this week with the bank. A lot of movement. So let me just talk about just a few things to kind of bring this home. First and foremost, let me talk about the paper. This is not the bank specifically, but it does relate because you need to be status corrected before you can get a global bank account. And so this is where a lot of people are starting to get hung up. So you can do your status correction paperwork yourself. I say this week after week after week, right? You can go to TASA, TASA.AmericanStateNational.com, and you can do your own paperwork for status correction. No problem. We have a team that can do it for you. What I have always known, but it was validated the last couple of weeks. It was validated. And that's one of the reasons why I started the school, because it was so much confusion from state to state to state, right? People couldn't get into the state assemblies. Nobody was calling them back. They weren't getting paperwork accepted. It was just a mess. And so what I decided to do is I decided to dive in. I decided to get a group of people. We were going to study so we could learn how to start helping people. And we did. That's how the school formed. Just to be a place to start helping people and educating them and try to move them into the assemblies. So what was validated the last couple of weeks was that each nation, each assembly, each state assembly is pretty much doing their own thing, of which we've always known. They're doing their own thing, right? So even though TASA has this website that they have the status correction paperwork, and Global has their website where they have the status correction paperwork, when you try to get into the assemblies, even to today, each state is doing their own thing. And that's what we see what the issue is. All right. So what am I doing? Again, I am advocating for everything to go back under one umbrella so it's not confusing to the people, because it becomes confusing to the people, of which it has over and over and over again. And we know it's not fair, but at least you're educated now to know that the bull is still happening. All right. So we're going to kind of continue to fight for you guys to push you to Global. Okay. If you need us to do the paperwork before you put it on Global, we can do that for you as well. You listen, we have every avenue that you want. You can go to Global and create your own account and do the paperwork with them. We can help you do the paperwork and you can just upload it. Okay, you can do it yourself at TASA and then upload it to Global. But we're going to continue to push y'all in that direction. Okay, because once again, if you try to go into the assemblies, they might want to tweak this, or they want this to be this color, or they want it to be higher on the paper, or they don't want this down here, or they want their jurat to be there. Everybody's doing some different mess. Okay. And so we have to be educated in that. And it's not anything that we can't get over. We will get over the hurdle, but I want you aware that they're not coming under one umbrella like we have told you before. Everybody is doing their own thing. And I'm not even sure if Anna's aware of that. Okay. But we are aware because our people have fallen victim to it over and over and over again. And I was actually invited to a training of which a whole state is doing something totally different than the other 49. And I brought it to her attention. Okay. So we're going to continue to be that space for you guys. And yes, Ms. Deborah, it's taking a long time. So y'all going to have to just pack your patience. It is taking a long time. I even know some people that are considering moving to Ohio because Ohio actually is having its own courts now. They are up and running, you guys. Ohio is bringing it home. All right. So if you want to actually live de jure and have a government that back you, an American government to back you, even where it comes down to court cases, Ohio is rocking and rolling right now. All right. So the bank is moving. Everything that they have told us that they were going to do, it's playing out that exact same way. All right. So now let me just try to fill you in on some holes, some crevices that we need to inform you of. All right. First and foremost, if you're just now coming in and you are waiting for Global to approve your status correction paperwork, you guys, they are working with a very small skeleton crew at this point. And I know many of you will be like, why won't they just bring in more people to help? Because it's a security issue at this point. It's not just that easy of just bringing in such and such cousin because they know them or their mother, or, I've known this person for 50 years. It's not that easy. It's not that easy because where they are right now, security is at the utmost risk. Utmost risk. Security is at the utmost risk at this point. So they have to be extremely careful, right? And I'm sure this is what you would want them to be, extremely careful at this point. So they're working with a skeletal crew, all right? And they're having to approve documents for hundreds of thousands of people at this point. So if like, for example, you have status correction paperwork, and we know we deal with about anywhere from 10 to 15 documents, right? Could be a little bit more, a little bit less if you have a unincorporated business, so on and so forth. They have to check those off for everyone. That's not including your fingerprint, your picture, your witness statements. I mean, it's a lot that goes with those, and each one has to be approved, okay, before you can start getting your deposits. And so this is where they are right now. So you're going to have to pack your patience. Now, if you're watching this for the first time, you didn't know anything about this, you didn't know that you could receive monthly deposits in your account. If you don't know anything about this, you need to get started yesterday. Okay. Even though it still might take a minute, you still need to get the ball rolling and get it done. Get the paperwork done. Okay, get everything done that's needed to get done, because we're here. The day is here now. So what has happened? They told us first the education piece was going to be dropped. Education piece was dropped. You can go and now learn about everything involving the global family banking system. All right. Everything is there. You can receive your certificates upon your completion of the courses. The education piece is there. It's done. You need to be status corrected before that piece will be open to you. So if you're not status corrected and you're not approved, you will not be educated as far as the global bank. Only those that are cleared will be able to receive the educations on now how to operate in this system. All right. So that's mandatory. Now, when I was talking about the paperwork as far as your state assemblies, that is to actually work in your state assembly government. All right. So that's a whole nother area. So actually physically work in your government, to be able to vote, to be able to be an officer, which now you'll be an American state citizen. Okay. Again, American state citizen. All of those are different components, and it works through the assembly. All right. And so they need to get your paperwork to move you to participate in the assembly. You can still attend all of the meetings. And that's another thing people don't understand. Even United States citizens can attend the meetings, okay, of the American assemblies, the American government. Okay. You can attend. So if you are a United States citizen in Maryland, you can go to the American state assembly meetings. You can't vote, but you can sit there and listen. Okay, but you can't vote on anything. So you can still have your body present. All right, you just can't vote. In order to vote, you have to be on the roster of these assemblies. And some assemblies, they make you wait 6 months. before you can actually become a voting, be able to vote, okay, for different items that they have coming down the pipeline. So it's important that you understand that. So now let's swing back over to the global bank. So they told us that the education piece was going to drop. It did months ago. All right. It's fluent, it's fine, no problem with it. Everybody is moving in that system very easily. They told us for months that the vendor system was going to drop next. Now, what is the vendor system for those that are watching for the first time and you may not understand? First of all, if you haven't watched all 77 episodes, go back and start at number 1 and bring yourself forward. That's the first thing. All right, but the vendor system is those that have unincorporated businesses. So just because when you incorporate, that means you go into the corporation. So you allow them to pay taxes, business taxes, all kind of foolishness taxes through your business. And that's how they keep up with you, because you register an LLC, which is incorporated. Okay, even the S corp, all that stuff is through their system, through the U.S. system. Okay, there's a whole nother system of unincorporated business, which is de jure, which is of the land, which is for real living people, living American people. Okay, the natural man, the natural woman. We have unincorporated, where you can't tax us. You don't tax the natural man, the natural woman. We cannot be taxed. We own all of it. You don't tax me. Okay, I own it. And that's where you have to begin to understand you sit higher than any corporate entity, because all corporations are dead. They're dead entities. You are living. So you trump everyone. And Genesis 1:26 lays that law perfectly out. So if they have any type of non-understanding of that, okay, just drop Genesis 1:26, okay, and bring them up to speed real quick. All right. So where it comes to these unincorporated businesses, you can register yours on Global Bank, and you can actually get an account. Okay. So you can get a personal account that represents the natural man, the natural woman, where you get monthly deposits of $5,280 in AFD currency, which can convert over to USD soon. Okay. And I think it's 184 different currencies around the world. All right. But you can do this for your business, which we're calling vendors. All right. So you can have a vendor account, which has to have a different email address. So if you have a personal account on an email, your vendor account has to be different. Okay. You have to have a different email over there. And you can register, not register. Rewind. Registers over on their side. You can actually assign your business up getting a vendor account. Okay. And so when you get the vendor account, you're able now to contract. Nope, not contract. That's all. You see how I have to keep, because we've been so indoctrinated. I'm so careful now, these words that I use. And if I make a mistake, I'm learning to rewind it back, because we don't contract. We just have agreements. But you are able now to buy and sell, okay, to trade with different vendors around the world, if there are 30,000 of them. All right. Now we did drop the vendor list. Now the vendor list that I dropped and that I have, it doesn't have all 30,000 on there, but I'm understanding that they're uploading more and more every day. They're uploading more and more every day. Now this is the hang up that we're having right now. Even though I can take monies from my vendor account or my personal account, and I can transfer it over into my vendor account, and I can transfer AFD from vendor to vendor to pay for whatever I'm wanting to pay for. What we're finding right now is some vendors are not wanting to accept the AFD for product, because they can't convert it at this point to USD. Now, Anna said out of her own mouth that some people are using AFD to purchase houses and purchase cars. I ain't seen it yet, but she said it's happening. Okay. Now, I don't know if there is a small group of people who are able to convert at this point from AFD to USD, and that's how they're purchasing houses and cars. Okay? Because I heard that sentence and I was like, oh, let me rewind that to make sure I heard what she said was right. And one thing I do understand about the houses, remember, you are having, if you are status corrected, you have to purchase a house with a Lodio title. A Lodio title. You cannot go into their system and purchase it with just the title because the real estate is nothing but paper. Real estate is nothing but paper. You own nothing. You don't own any houses. You don't own any land. And you saying my house, it ain't your house. Stop paying taxes and watch them take your house. Okay? Stop paying taxes and watch what they do. So it's not yours. The only way it becomes yours if you get a Lodio title. And we teach you how to do that. So if you go to landandsoilpropertygroup.com, we give classes teaching you, we do one-on-one classes teaching you how to get a Lodio title once you become status corrected. All right. And we also have classes teaching people how to get out of foreclosure and evictions and all of that. We can help you one-on-one because we have 5 remedies. It depends on if it's foreclosure, eviction, but we have several remedies that has been proven to work. Okay. Now, will it work in every situation? We can't validate that, but we know that 4 to 5 of these remedies has worked. Because again, it depends if you're doing eviction or foreclosure, but the remedies have worked in several situations. All right. So going back to the vendor accounts, we know that this is happening right now. We're in that space right now where the vendors are going back and forth, buying and selling products. Some vendors aren't accepting it because they say they can't convert it and they can't make a living. All right. So you're going to have to do this on a one-to-one basis right now. Now, I'm going to kind of be diving a little deeper into those that said they bought cars and they have purchased houses with this AFD. I'm not sure if a small group, once again, is able to convert from AFD to USD. I'm not sure. I don't know. And I haven't heard anybody yet actually purchase a house with AFD or purchase a car with AFD. But best believe I'm going to be diving a little further into that to kind of see how this is happening. All right. So that's where we are this week. It's a good thing because every step that they said was going to happen has happened. And we know the next step that happens after the vendor accounts is the actual bank opening. All right. So we are like at the last step. And that's y'all know, let me go over here to my little media. Y'all know I have learned how to do my little clapping. Hold on for a minute. Y'all want to let me get my little thing. Here you go. Yes, we are. The next step is for the bank to fully open. Let's do that again. Somebody else saying she's so silly. So that's where we are now. It's a great time to be alive. Some of us have experienced the pain of the transitions, our emotions being all over the place, but we are here. We are here, right? We are here. We are like at the door. We are like at the door. So if you're in a school, you already know you're going to be taken care of. We already talked about that. We already talked about that, right? Especially when it comes to you all purchasing homes. We told you not even to worry about that. If you're in the school, you're good. That's all I can say. You're good, right? Just hang tight and continue to move forward day by day by day, continually to be informed because we're going to inform you, right? And we're going to take each body at a time. Each living soul is going to have hands on. Okay. All right, you guys, that's all I have for you today. Don't forget to follow me on all social media. Thank you, thank you, thank you for sewing into me week after week after week. I appreciate that. You know, you can continue to give at I am Dr. Sherry on Cash App, Venmo, or Zelle as I am Dr. Sherry at gmail.com. All right, you guys, until next time. Bye.